So, what does someone do when they finally get all the YouTube videos uploaded? We start another one. All right, I think this is going to be part 4, Hansel and Gretel. And I was going to go ahead with his clothes and her dress, but we've done clothing enough that I think you probably really can get on with that on your own. So what I want to do is come over and do some wood. And I'm picking up all the different browns and creams that we used before. Now we don't need the skin tones in there, but here are some browns. And what I want to do is take these, and I'm going to use a sheet of scratch paper. I'm going to put these in color order, 553, so that's fairly light. 556. If you're just joining us, it might be in your best interest, 555, to go back and catch the past videos on this series. And then this one is 563. So that's color order, light to dark. That's how I'm holding them. And what I want to do is show you how I personally do wood. We're going to adjust the light again. And then adjust where my page is. And you can get a good look at this barrel. I'm going to start with that. So if I take my darkest, so grab whatever 4 shades you need. These are the ones I'm using. So when I say the darkest, it means I'm going to that 563. All right. The darkest is going to be what's right down here and down here, because there's usually a shadow anytime something overlaps. It's also going to be here and around the edge here. Even though that's on top, it's still got a lip overhang. So let's start with that. Let's just put this color in. Oh yeah, there's some more chain. We forgot that before. Well, I did. You might not have. So I'll have to come back in later and get that chain done up. Not that big of a deal. Now I'm doing circles just to get this started, and then I am going to do where I pull down, because the wood grain is going this way. All right? So that's my logic or my thinking, because I know so many times, so many of you have said, now, what are your thoughts on that? How do you come up with that? And so that's it in a nutshell. All right, going through here, getting this darker shade in. Yeah, back in there is going to be dark, because that chain is holding over the top or hanging over the top of that wood. And then we want to go the direction of the wood grain. Okay, now I can even come in and do some of these swirls darker. Do the bands where they come together darker, because we want this wood to really have some character to it and look like it's real wood grain and not just something we've striped along. Okay? And wood is a little bit darker in the seams where the two pieces butt up together. I mean, even in this table, can you see where this line comes together here? Yeah, it's a little bit darker right on the line. The wood grain's a little darker. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here with this. Okay? I know there's a shiny spot right there. So let's get this in. And then I think this is probably going to be the last video on this, because I really think after we do this, you can finish this page up on your own. I really do. It's just a matter of you picking colors, and you've got the knowledge from color wheel videos, or you can go to a closet and pick a piece of clothing that has some green in it. Pull those colors for him, as long as it's not girly stuff. Then you can easily go pick something girly from your closet that has reds in it. Excuse me, a little choked up there. And then use those colors to come in and color her little outfit. And before you know it, you'll have your colors picked and you'll be just going at it. So, yeah, not real hard from here on. And woods are in different browns and grays, depending on how weathered they are. So you'll be able to do that. Okay. There we go. Just getting all this grain in there. And then I'm still going to go across that top and across the bottom. And I'm going to use the colors in my hand for this barrel. And then I'm going to go back to my book of colors. And I'm going to pull different browns for the floorboards. And is there furniture here? No, there's just this board here. That might even be the cage area. I'm not real sure. I'm not sure where I am in the book. So, but yeah, so just pull some different browns. Maybe add something really dark in there to pull out that grain in the wood. Or if you like a blonder wood, then go with that for some of the floor. It may be that I don't even use all these. It may be that I can use some of these in my hand to also help out. So, yeah, just have fun with this. It's the wood that's weathered or whatever you choose. I am doing a little darker around this chain as if it has cast a shadow on the barrel. Okay. And just still always trying to blend out with that color so that whenever I bring the next color in, I'm able to adapt more easily to blending. Okay? Yeah, you can do this. For you that are over on Coloring Books Keep It Clean on Facebook, I do hope that you'll post your photo there as you're working and finishing up on it. I know a good number of us, pardon me while I turn the book, you know it, make it where it's easier for you to work on it. But yeah, there's a good number of us that have these books, so please be sure and post so that we can see what you're doing. So we all love to see each other's work. It's encouraging and just fun. Okay. Okay, coming back around, making sure that barrel is up in the picture for you. And then the grain is going this way now. So as we come in here, we want to make sure we have some of those directional lines. Okay, that's where it's put together. Remember, we just talked about how that would be just a little bit darker. Get some of this grain in here. It doesn't have to be real neat because we're going to add several different layers of color. And as we do that, it's just going to have that messier look. And then overall, it should look a lot nicer and more realistic like wood. So don't be afraid to get in there with your color. Yeah, because I mean, like right now it looks pretty shoddy. So don't worry about it. Got to pull this down, directional lines, follow that wood grain. We can come back in later if we need to and deepen those lines up, just like we deepened up over here in his pants earlier. Okay. And again, some of the older books are on sale. Pinocchio was cheap. I think Snow White right now is pretty cheap. So if these books are not something you're familiar with and you like them, jump on that bandwagon pretty quick before they're out of print. This artist is very well liked in the coloring book world, and can't wait to see what they attack next for subject, because I have heard that this is the last of the series when they come out with the last two that are in the making. In fact, this might have been one of them. I can't remember. I didn't have Beauty and the Beast yet, so I've got that on order. Cinderella's already being shipped to me. So Cinderella might have been one of the new ones. Might have been Cinderella and, I don't know, it might be Hansel and Gretel. Okay, so I did the darker color. Now I'm going to come to, you know what, I'm going to skip that next color. I'm going to skip that 556 and jump straight to, no, 555 I'm going to skip and jump straight to 556. 555 I skipped. Goodness, my words. And jump to 556. Just in here and blending. I may just do this barrel in two colors. And then I'm thinking this may be metal, just like what I did this. Okay. Except once again, I will pick different grays. Yeah, because I really want it to pop out there as being a little different. So I'm just going over everything now with this brown. Trying to do this barrel with just the two pencils. I'm going to lay down the 553 also, because this 556 is working well for me, I do believe. See, and I can just go over that other brown, and because I did it so dark to start with and then did some blending, getting lighter as I came out, that's all working pretty good. I have to look at it through the camera with you. Yeah, I think that's going to be all right. Let's see, keep that there. Move these over here. Can you see that? So it's got some of the lines in it. I'll come back in with that darker shade, just like what I've been doing earlier, and deepen it up some. I'm trying to hold that page down. The edges of the pages are sometimes difficult to get to. I do have my piece of plastic under there, so I can actually pull this page up and color and know that I'm not going to get on the page underneath because there's plastic there. Makes it just a little bit easier. You can also do that with just a piece of paper. Just make sure your paper is not embossed with anything, because the embossing will show through onto the page you're coloring. Okay. I've been on YouTube today trying to figure out how to actually put in ads so that I might be able to actually make a little bit of money on YouTube. So if you start seeing ads pop up, even if you don't really follow anything, if you'll just click it every now and then, I think I get just a little bit of a kickback for you even just clicking on it. You know, click on it, let it load, and then close it. I don't care. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to make a little bit of extra cash going into Christmas or whatever. So if you see those all of a sudden show up, if you could help me out, I would so be grateful. It would encourage me to make even more videos. Okay, now seeing this in person, it really looks pretty good to me. So I'm not sure how much more dark I'll be adding, because it is coming out all right. Okay, so I have that plastic in there. So I can just go off the edge. Now see, I've got my finger stationed, this finger, so that I hit it and don't go into the lid on the barrel. Don't go into the metal part, rather. So have your hands help you where they can. And go back flat. Push my plastic back in. Okay, so there's my barrel. Yeah, I'm really happy with that without adding any other color. I wish there was a way to show it to you a little better. Let me mess with the light. I'm sorry. I know, bounce all over the place. There, I think that shows it just a little bit better for you. So I do like that, so I'm going to leave that alone. Now I've used these two pencils, so I'm going to put those aside and use two of my other browns. There's not just a whole lot of browns in this packet of Ruffines, so that's my reasoning, is just to kind of be able to use what I have. Now this flooring is all kinds of jumbled shapes and stuff. I am going to treat the floor as if it's wood planks. So I'm going to come through here and kind of do my outline. Which one's darker? I think this one is, but I'm not sure. And then I'm going to get lighter as I come in, and then dark here. I'm just going to kind of outline everything and then fade the color. See, here's a main line. Here's a main line. And then I'm going to come in around. I am using a fair deal of pressure just because of the colored pencils I'm using. Depending on your pencils, make them work for you, not against you. So if you're using polychromos, Prismacolors, Marco Renoirs, you're not going to have to put as much pressure. If you're using Crayola, yeah, you're probably going to have to use more pressure like I am. It's just the nature of the beast, nothing wrong with it. Just make your pencils work for you. All right, so you see how I went around that? Now I'm going to come back with the other color, and I'm going to come inside, and I'm going to blend with what I just did. Okay. Now, do you see all the lines that just really are popping up now? Now I'm going to come back with the first color. Yeah, stand you on your head. And I'm going to put in some wood grain. I don't know if you saw before when I put wood grain in one of the other pictures. I just do sloppy zigzag lines, and it just makes it look a little bit more like wood grain. Okay? So now I would do this through all of this. And I did that wood grain on top so that it would really pop against that lighter color. Whoops, wrong color. The darker color on the outside edge. Then get lighter as I come in. And I am coloring quicker than I normally would, just really getting that color down. Normally I would do, goodness, several layers of coloring to get it this dark. But in the interest of this not taking forever on a video, I am using a lot more pressure. So if you want a softer look, use that lighter pressure. Okay, it's more like what I'm doing right now. Just really lighten that pressure up as you're coming in. Then change to your other color, whatever it is, and blend it in. Just blend that color in there. Same thing on this piece. And then put in your wood grain. I'm pulling my plastic all the way in. See my jaggedy on those wood grain lines. Just because the lines are solid there doesn't mean I have to follow them solid. I can do whatever I want. There's no coloring police or anything like that. So you see how that looks kind of more like a floor now? Looks more like wood, and it's not matching our barrel. Now, I am going to use these same two colors on the entire floor. All right? And then what I can do is take one of these colors and one of these colors and use it for all the rest of this wood that goes around. Okay? Let's just keep working on this, because I know a lot of this has these different designs to it, and you're wondering how we change that up as we go. Do you notice I'm still going around? Same thing here. I'm still doing the dark. I'm going to move to light. Getting lighter on the inside. Just lighter pressure. And right here I'm going to go on both sides of this. See how I'm going over the top of the line? What's that doing? That is giving me lighter pressure on this side and this side. It's kind of like double duty. I don't have to come back in and do both sides. I could have done little on this side and then little on that side, but this way it just kind of helps me do both sides at once. And I could have done that on here if I'd have done it before. So sometimes it's just coloring smart. Whoops, forgot to do the back side here. Lighten it. Here's the lighter shade. See how it's a lot more yellow looking? Just going to get that colored. And my little circles around here to help it all blend nicer. Same thing here. And you're right, I didn't do those ends. It's just what I do. Nothing says you have to do those ends like that. It's just something I do. I like to go around the outside and then come in with it. Now, same thing as there before. I'm going to be adding some of those colored areas. Let's just do every other one. Just something to add a second color. This zigzag, let's just come through right on the top of that. And see, there's no rhyme or reason. I just kind of make it up as I go. Just as long as it's different than the piece that was done before. Okay, the darker color again. Okay, lighter as I come out. I already did that edge, just doing a little bit lighter. Here's a good solid line. And then getting lighter. Just lighten it on both sides at once. Kind of keeps me from having to go back and lighten that second side. Okay, around the feet. Around that heel and the shoe and the shadow. Okay, so if this times out, you know how to finish the picture. We've talked about it. You can do it. Would love to see your work. Again, if you're on Facebook, ladies, you're invited to Coloring Books. Keep it clean. It's a clean site for ladies only. And we'd love to have you check in. Now I'm going over to the lighter color. Whoops, didn't finish that toe. Yeah, we don't do Halloween over there either on that group. Just not part of who we are. Don't like the whole ghosts and witches and all that. Enough stuff going on without all of that stuff. And there are plenty of groups that do allow all that, so we just ask that you'd share it there and not on ours. And it happens from time to time, or, you know, even I've got the Peter Pan book and there's skulls in it with Skull Island. I just don't post those pages. Or, for that matter, if it's a small skull or skeleton that's in a Halloween page, lay a few pencils over it, block it out, take a picture, and then post it. We just ask that it not show up. So there's a ways to get around all that. If the whole page is all that, or it's a witch's face, like in this book, there is the witch lady, the old lady that kidnaps them. Just ask that you not post it. Okay, see here I'm coming in and I'm just loosely going in these curves. Just picking every other curve just to break it up some. Makes it a little bit more like wood. Okay, now see that floor? That wood? So that's how you would finish doing the whole thing. I'd say it's not a bad start for a day. It's going to take a couple more days to finish it, but hey, it's fun. Yeah, just take your time with it, because if you get to where you're rushing, you might accidentally do something that you're really not going to like. And taking the time is worth it. So soften this. See, I can already tell I'm getting tired. I've been doing colored pencil most of the day, and so I can tell in my coloring that I may need to take a break. Because when I'm not coloring on here, I've been coloring another page in one of my other books. Yeah, I don't YouTube everything. Surely you didn't think I did. Yeah, I've been working on, what have I been working on? I've been working on a tree in some picture. And now I totally forget what book it is, but it's one of these books. Not Alice in Wonderland. I've already done Pinocchio's. I don't remember. But anyway, this is fixing to time out, so I'm just going to finish this up, and I will see you all in another video on another day. Hope you've enjoyed this, as we have just really marathoned coloring today. And I will catch you all later. Just going to sit here and color while I'm waiting on it to time out, because it will. You can make your floor a lot smoother than this if you want. I just happen to have wanted mine splotchy, just for the interest and the texture. So that's why I kept it this way. Again, every other one. You still with me? You are. Let's go change and do this. I'm just changing back and forth between the light and the dark, depending on where I'm coloring on the page. Doing the insides in the light, the outsides in the dark, and the wood grain parts here in the dark. Don't forget to go back in and do your chain if you didn't. Really is a quick way of getting wood grain done. And I believe that, let's see there, so that's part of the back piece of wood, so I don't want to do that. I'm just kind of showing you that even if you get sloppy in it, as long as you come back through and blend nicely, it's still going to be okay. Lighter as you come in, darker around the outside. Just makes it easier to blend.